What is up, you guys? It's your spiritual fairy godmother, and I am back. Okay, I am back with another Let's Talk About It. Okay, today's video is going to be a long one. Today's video is going to be a deep one. We are diving all the way in to my testimony, to my story. Okay, a lot of the things that I have been through. I've been through them, not only for me, but for others as well, for other people to heal, for other people to hear my story and be able to know that, like, there's light on the other side. So that's what we're doing today. We really just kind of like tapping in. I just want to use this video as like a video diary type log in for me to just kind of like check in with myself and get some things off my chest that I probably wouldn't have, if I didn't have this kind of platform. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate people who don't click on the videos. I appreciate YouTube for just even having this platform to have a space where I can sit here and I can talk to myself and it can still be therapeutic and healing for others. So I'm really just excited to kind of like get this out. I'm gonna probably be like playing in my hair a lot. That's how you know I have anxiety. That is like my telltale sign. When I get to like playing in my locks, that's why they look the way they do. Very beautiful, very beautiful. But yeah, you can tell I have anxiety through my hair. I feel like I'm gonna have anxiety throughout this video just because I did not plan this video. Okay, so I was on TikTok this morning. I had the day off from school. I was on TikTok and I came across Teen Mom, right? Teen Mom, who would have thought that just watching a couple TikToks and seeing, just some of the Teen Mom girls and their addiction. So basically, I was watching a lot of videos of like Leah Portwood and, Amber Portwood and Leah Messner, and how they were in active addiction. And just seeing Leah like really overcome, not Leah, yeah, seeing Leah like overcome her addiction and like take care of her kids. In my mind, I started saying like, well, look at her childhood. Like, yeah, she cheated on this dude. Yeah, she got with this dude, but nobody helped her during her addiction. Nobody uplifted her and was like, you can get through this. Let's go to rehab. Everybody just kind of turned their back on her. But now today, she's a hella strong mom. She getting how she lived for her kids, and she's really a role model to a lot of women, a lot of young girls. You gotta think about it. She had twins at 16 years old, one who had health issues as well. So you can understand the stress and the toll that comes. But it's like when you're in the midst of it, you just feel so low, right? So then I got to thinking about me and Jonathan, and then I started thinking about myself, and it's like, you really have to know people's full story. You really have to get to know people in order to really like see how far they've come and like how, like how much of a testimony they've truly and honestly lived through. And like for me, I got to thinking about Jonathan, and if y'all don't know, or if you are new to the channel, Jonathan is my ex-boyfriend who passed away of drug overdose. He was the father to 3 of my unborn babies, 2 of which were born sleeping, stillborn babies. So yesterday morning, I came across another TikTok, and it basically was saying when you have a stillborn baby, is because spirit decided that it was either not the right time or whatever it said. And at the time, I'm like, I kind of wanted to be in denial, because it's like, it was basically saying that like it's the parents' fault, that the spirits and the babies don't like live for a term. And a part of me was like, that's not true. It just like, because honestly, deep down, like after I had my miscarriages, I did shrooms, and I felt like God told me that I loved Jonathan more than I loved God. I loved men more than I loved my relationship with God. And I still did it anyway. I told Jonathan what God had said to me after we took the shrooms, and I didn't listen. And 2 days before he passed away, me and Jonathan did shrooms again. And I told him, you gotta stop selling drugs. I didn't tell him you gotta stop doing drugs because I didn't know that he was doing drugs. I just told him, you gotta stop selling drugs. Like, it was a moment of realization, and I had a vision. And I told him that, and he felt like I wasn't listening to what he was saying. It was like we were both talking at the same time. Oh my God. I remember him looking out. We were at a park, and he looked out over at the water, and he was just like, we didn't ask to be here. Like, you ever think about the fact that one day we just got put here? And I remember I was in my own world. I was having a vision, and I was listening to him. I heard everything that he said, but then I interrupted him, and I was like, you gotta stop selling drugs. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Like, this is not good. It's not gonna end good. And I remember his face. He was like, you're not even listening to me. And I felt so guilty for a long time, but in this moment I realized, no, he wasn't listening to me. I remember telling Jonathan, when he first came to me and was like, Grace, I want to sell drugs. Like, I want to get out here. I was kind of just like, no, okay. I thought it was just like weed or whatever. My life changed so much with Jonathan, and I don't want to like skip around or like it's so hard to talk about because Jonathan is not here no more, and I feel like I put so much blame like on him. But because I was there, it's like I know my role in it, and I know that I participated in every part of it. But like today, I feel guilt in admitting that like it was Jonathan. Like, oh. Like, I know that like he is not to blame. I wanna make that very clear, because I know that like there may still be people who watch me solely because I was Jonathan's girlfriend. They don't like me, you know, and I feel bad. Like, I feel bad that I cut his family off. Because in my mind, they didn't love me while he was here. They didn't support me. They didn't like me. And I'm not saying that those things are true. I'm not. But that's how I felt. So when he passed away, I felt like I just wanted to ignore them and put them in the back of my mind. Like, my healing was talking about it and saying the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know that when you're grieving, you don't want to hear that about the person that you love, the person that's no longer here. You don't want to hear the bad shit. Nobody does. It's very hard. But that was the way that I healed as his woman, because I couldn't just be sad. I was also mad because everything that I said had came true. It was a woman who came to the hospital that was his girlfriend, his boo, his bae, his something, I don't know. But she came to the hospital. So it was like when he passed away, I was also in a state of grieving my relationship, not just my man, right? That's why this is very hard to talk about. Okay, so I do want to start from the beginning, because my whole life is not just about Jonathan, okay? Jonathan is not the blame for who I am, for how I am, and for why things have went awry in my life. I am the blame, okay? Me, not my mom, not my dad, not the abusers, not Jonathan, not anybody, okay? I am in full control of my life, me and the Lord. So anything that happens to me is not happening to me, but it's happening for me. I love Jonathan with everything in me still to this day. Like it ain't no bad blood with nobody who have harmed me or anybody that I have harmed on my end. If I have harmed anybody, I am sorry. Genuinely, I'm sorry, you know, but we gonna talk about it, okay? This is gonna be a long video, but let's talk about it. Okay, so growing up, I didn't know that I was spoiled. I'm just now at 29 realizing like how blessed I've been, and that's why I'm doing this video, y'all. This is my testimony. This is a positive video. I want y'all to know that right here at the beginning. This is a positive video. Yes, I'm going to talk about some sad ass shit. Yes, I'm going to talk about some heartbreak. Yes, it's probably gonna be like an hour-long video, but listen, baby, this is a testimony, okay? Growing up, I did not know how good I had it, okay? Growing up, I grew up on 12th and Burleigh, okay? If you live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you already know what 12th and Burleigh is like. They call it Burleigh Zoo for a reason, okay? It is a zoo. It's animals out there. Like, we in the trenches, right? 12th and Burleigh, near 11th and Locust, okay? Like, you getting the picture? Right. So I grew up in this house with my grandmother, well, my great-grandmother, my mother, my auntie, my uncle at one point, like all of my granny children, right? But it was my great-grandmother and her husband's house. My grandfather had passed away. I don't know if I've ever met him. I probably did, but I don't know. I don't have memories of that, right? I barely have memories of my grandma, and she didn't pass away until April 4th of, maybe not April 4th. I don't want to say the date wrong. Granny, I'm sorry, Lord, forgive me. My granny died in April when I was 8 years old in 2004. So for me, I loved my Granny Ruth. Like, me and my Granny Ruth was like this, and that's what people tell me. Like, that's what people tell me. However, I don't remember her. I remember her sitting in this one chair, like this couch. It was like red, checkerboard, green, whatever the fuck color it was. I don't know. It had plastic on it, and it was right in front of our door. Like, my granny was a tough ass woman, because anybody came in that motherfucking door, guess who they was gonna see first? My granny, okay? Granny Ruth. So I used to just sit at her feet all the time. Like, I just used to sit at her feet, and it's like whatever was happening outside, we just used to like look out the door and like look at our neighborhood, look at the people, like, just, you know, people watching. I do that now to this day. And in this moment, I'm realizing that came from my grandmother. I used to watch her garden and like just be a woman, you know, but she was so old, and it got to the point where like the only person taking care of her was my mama. My auntie loved my grandma. My auntie and my granny was like this, but my auntie worked 2 jobs. She had a son who was a teenager and who was being bad, like having people in the house. I had cousins who was like 15, 16. I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8. We left the house when I was 9 years old. We moved into another house when I turned 10. So it was like, for 10 years, I was watching my older cousins like be ruthless, like steal from the people in our house, have ghetto crazy teenage boys, and it's not ghetto, like they were just in a product of their environment. We lived on 12th and Burleigh, so even though my auntie had my cousins in the best schools, we went to fucking Milwaukee Academy of Science, a good ass fucking private school. It's not a private school because I think it's still NPS, but like we had to wear uniforms. Like, we were studying like what is it called? It's called like STEM now, you know, like chemistry and robotics and shit like that. But we had that back then when I was a kid, and it wasn't even known as STEM yet. But we were in an elite school, like we was in a good school, like, you know, and we grew up going to Hopkins Street School, like walking to school from our crib. And then I went to Brown Street. So I could tell through my childhood that my mama only wanted what was best for me. But because of where we was living, because of our situation, like, because of different shit, it was like, it just wasn't time for all of that, you know? So, like, I could tell that, like, my parents and my family wanted us to have different, like, wanted me to have different. My mom wanted me to have different. But my childhood was all she knew as well. Like, my mom grew up the second youngest of like 5, you know, where she growing up in the hood with her big brothers, and she fighting people, and she out here, you know, she got young girls as friends who doing young girlhood shit. But my mom has always been a scholar. Like, my mom is so fucking smart. Like, she's a teacher. She found solace in school, in learning, and being smart. She found her way out that way, and she wanted that for me. So when things got so bad at my great grandmother's house, like things that my older cousins were doing, my auntie was a single mom, and her child's father was where he was. So it was like generational curses, and it was things that like my mom couldn't really handle because she was being affected in a house with these teenage boys who are running my auntie, because my auntie is a single mom who works 2 jobs. She worked 3rd shift and a 2nd shift job. So my auntie was always gone. So she couldn't have control over my cousins how she wanted to, but she was a damn good mom. My auntie is still a damn good mom and a damn good auntie. And like, the women in my family are so fucking solid. But like, hear me out, listen to this. So we was living with my great grandmother because my grandmother, my mother's mom, was dealing with mental health issues. So she would be out having mental breakdowns and going through just mental health issues. I don't know, and I don't want to speak on, you know, anything that I don't know of because she watches my videos. Granny, I love you a lot. But again, this is my experience. So I grew up being scared of my granny. Like, I grew up, I wanted to go to her house because my cousins was gonna be there, and it was a good time. Like, it wasn't no bad shit. Like, when I would go to my mama friends' houses and then inside my own house, it was like bad shit going on. Like, at my mama's friend house, it wasn't bad shit like motherfuckers doing drugs and or like kids getting beat up. Like, it wasn't shit like that, but it was grown-up shit happening, like, from 25-year-olds, and I'm a child. So if they smoking, drinking, they kicking and talking shit, like, most kids are intrigued by that. They want to see what's going on. Me, I didn't. I hated it because I felt like when the parents out there drinking and smoking in the backyard, kicking and having a good time, I'm downstairs and somebody trying to kiss on me or trying to touch on me or be inappropriate with me, and I'm a kid, right? So, and it had already happened, so I had already knew what was up. But like, again, y'all, this is my childhood, so I'm just growing up and I'm just being me, and it just is what it is. So around, I would say, like, middle school, I don't really know what the change was. I think it was just puberty, and starting to come into realizing that my childhood had affected me. So I remember in middle school, I got my first best friend. Like, I remember in elementary school wanting a best friend so bad. And then middle school, I got 2. I had 2 very different best friends. One was a very bougie, Shaquan. She's very bougie. Her mama very much provided shit for her. Her mama was a very much get it out the mud mama. So because of that, she made sure that her daughter was in the flyest shit by any means. So my friend had everything, and I loved her and I looked up to her. She was like what I wanted to be. And then I had another friend with Tiara, and Tiara was my ghetto friend. She lived in my neighborhood. Like, we used to be on some hot shit together, but like, she was the fighting friend, like, you know, and I wasn't like that. So it was kind of like she loved me, but it was like she wanted me to be like her. She wanted me to be on some hot shit like her, but I never was. So her mama would let her have niggas in the crib. Her mama let her smoke in the crib. Her mama was letting her, like, her mama was friends. Her mama wasn't a bad mom ever. Her mom was like a good ass mom, made sure she had everything that she needed. Her mom took care of her, let her live in her crib. Good ass grandmama, took care of her sister, baby. Like, her mama was that girl. Always had her hair and nails done. She was just fire, was always high. Like, I don't know. I loved going over there. Like, I loved it so much. I felt hood when I went over there. Like, I felt like I fit in, because with my other friends, Shaquan and Courtney and Diamond and all of them, like, they wasn't like me. Like, they wasn't from the hood. Like, I don't know. Like, they had their shit going on, but they wasn't from the hood like me. They wasn't from Burleigh. Like, you know, and even though, you know, like, I was from Burleigh, like, my mom, she didn't play that shit. Like, my mom is very classy. Like, I'ma wear heels to work, and I ain't even gotta wear heels to work type of woman. She's very classy. My mom is different from a lot of the people she grew up with as well. My mom grew up kind of like a tomboy, but she's a Pisces woman. If y'all know a Pisces woman, they're very sensual, sexy, and fierce. So it's like, it was the best of both worlds for my mom. And I'm just like her. It's because it's like, I'm hood as fuck. Don't get me wrong, I'm hood as fuck. I love to fight. I don't love to fight, but like, I really gets down. So I'm really like my mama, but at the same time, it was like my mom wanted better for me. So I'm going to neighborhood schools. Like, I'm not going to neighborhood schools. Like, my mom didn't want that for me, because she already knew how that could have turned the fuck out. So mom was sending me to whole different ass schools far the fuck away, where I'm meeting friends who didn't really identify with me. I'm just a ghetto hood chick. Like, I'm from Burleigh. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I listen to Boosie. I listen to I Want Sex. My friend listening to fucking Pretty Ricky. And I'm just like, bitch, we are two different people. Like, so with my middle school friends, it was like, I didn't fit in with them. And I kept trying to tell them, like, y'all, I don't have memories. Like, I had such a traumatic childhood, and I didn't know how to explain that to them. I just used to tell them, like, yo, I don't have memories. Like, my mind don't really work like that. And, you know, that's some shit you can't really tell your parents, because I grew up, like, seeing spirits and like, knowing dead people and shit like that. So, like, growing up, my people will always tell me I'm this dramatic and shit, right? So you meet friends in high school, in middle school, and you know, when you have friends in middle school, I know y'all experienced this, but you feel like, I can tell somebody something. This person is relatable, because we both kids. You know, you grow up with only older people around you, right? And then in elementary school, everything is so innocent. But then in middle school, you get to the real world, and it's like, ain't no, bitch, like, people having sex, people doing shit. Like, people are being individuals, right? And that's where I realized I was different. I realized that, like, I had trauma that I wanted to talk about with my friends, that all of them asses, yeah. Listen, Diamond, Courtney, Shaquan, I don't care. They act like they ain't had no trauma, but them hoes had trauma. Okay, we all had trauma. That's why we was friends. But they trauma looked different, right? Like, I don't even think they realized that they had trauma. Right? Like, they had a cushy lifestyle to where it was like what they had going on in their crib was just the norm. But for me, I knew that shit wasn't normal, because I'm seeing them and they shit look more normal than my shit. So I'm looking at them like, hold up. Yeah, you got both your parents in the crib, your parents married, your mama got money, your mama got a car, my mama ain't got no car. Like, I'm comparing myself. So this was my first instance of, like, feeling different or comparing myself to people and, like, all that kind of shit, right? So now I'm in middle school, and I'm finally aware of the fact that I have mental health issues, okay? I don't know that it's mental health. I don't know shit about it. I'm just telling my friends, hey, I don't have memories. I don't remember shit. Like I'm being vulnerable with y'all, and I'm telling y'all I don't remember my childhood. Y'all not listening to me, which is making me feel like I have to retreat even more, because now I can't fuck with y'all. So even though I had best friends, I didn't fuck with them. Like, I fucked with them. I was a good friend to them as much as I knew how to be at the age, but, like, it was just shit that I hid from them. Like, it was parts of me that I felt like I'm never gonna tell y'all about. I'm never gonna, like, y'all never gonna fuck with me the long way. Y'all never gonna understand me the long way. So it was like, even though we all kicking it, I felt like I was the oddball out all the time. Then my best friend, Shaquan, she had another best friend. She didn't get her while we was friends because they was friends before I was a friend. All her friends was friends with her before I was a friend. So it was like, she was my best friend, but I wasn't hers. So that's when I kind of felt the most alone in my life. And I feel like I turned to boys. Because whenever my friend was occupied with her other friends, my thing was boys. Because I had started getting molested at 4 years old, I thought that if a boy wasn't touching me inappropriately, that he didn't like me. You know, so it was like, I would do things to make boys like me. Like, I always wanted my panties to be showing. Like, I wanted to exude mystery. Like, I would lean forward, like, pull my panties up, like, try to wear cute panties to school. Mind y'all, I'm in middle school, so it ain't like I got lace panties on. It was just anything that didn't have cartoon characters on it, I thought was sexy. So I would just be like, I would pull my panties all the way up to where it was kind of like a thong. Not really, because I didn't know what a thong was, but they would be in my butt crack, right? So you could see them above my pants, and I would just be like at my desk, like, flirting with all the boys and like just being very inappropriate. I lost my oral sex virginity in middle school. I let a boy give me oral sex at a baseball park behind my school at Roseville Middle School. Crazy. I don't even know where that nigga's at, okay? Shout out to Lim. Wherever you at, Bookie, I don't know. But I let that shit happen, okay? I let it happen. And then it's crazy because I got in trouble because we got caught coming back into school. He had blood all over him. Yes, I was on my period. It's crazy. It's crazy. So the nigga had blood all over his shirt. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like, we just went into school like it was normal. Like, wasn't shit wrong. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so they called our parents and we got in trouble. That was that, right? So again, I started getting very, very interested into boys. But then I went to Milwaukee High School of the Arts, y'all. I went to Bayview, and at Bayview I was very much popular. I was very much one of them girls, okay? Definitely on a freshman dance team. And then we was around all the high school kids, so it was kind of like, yeah, like I'm around seniors, these niggas is liking on me, like, yeah, I like this shit. Luckily, I didn't stay there. I'm glad I didn't stay there because, yeah, it was real ghetto and they was having riots and fights. So I ended up telling my mama, hey, this is too ghetto for me. I don't fit in. Like, I'm making myself fit in because I know how to act ghetto and I'm really from the hood, so it's not an act. But, bitch, I'm really not this hood. Like, I'm not this much in the trenches, bitch. I don't want to fight. Okay, I don't want to fight. I don't want to jump nobody after school. I just want to be on a dance team. I just want to, we was dancing to Ice Cream Paint Job. Ice Cream, y'all remember that song? Yeah, so it was kind of like, I want to be at the halftime shows dancing and getting it so the senior boys like me. But y'all talking about fighting after school, so I'm just going to head out. Mind y'all, I had to catch the bus, okay? My mama didn't have a car. So I'm catching the bus. I'm catching 3 buses from Bayview, South Side. Okay, all the way back over to the east side where my mama had moved us to. So it's just like, Bookie, who finna be on this bus? 3 buses. It's dark time. It's winter. It's dark at 4 o'clock. I got dance practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So now I'm getting home at damn near 6 o'clock. Because I got to catch 3 buses. I had to catch the motherfucking, the 18 to the 15 to the motherfucking red line. I had to catch 3 buses to get home. Like, crazy. Y'all know Chicken P, yeah. Him and Lil Faith used to be on the bus stop with me. And it was just kind of like, bitch, this is really my life out here. Like, this really out here how I'm living. Like, goddamn. Like, we on this bus, they was flirting. I used to be so jealous. Like, I don't have no boyfriend. Oh my God. Like, look at Faith. Like, she got this boy. And at the time, Rakeem was so, like, ugly. Like, he's... But at the time, like, you know, them badass kids who just mean and irritating because they bad. Yeah, that was him. But it was like every day I had to ride the bus with these people. And it was like, I used to just stand close to them because I didn't want nothing to happen to me. And I was by myself and they was a cute couple together. So I used to just be like, let me go. just go sit by y'all. Like, I'm just, you know, because we go to school on the south side, and in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, the south side is Mexican and Latina, okay? So I'm on the bus with all these people, and we the only black kids going all the way to the north side. So I'm gonna sit by y'all. You know, and eventually that was what it was. But then I went to Milwaukee High School of the Arts, where everybody's weird. This is a white ass fucking school. There are scene kids here with motherfucking pink and black and red and fucking tails. Motherfucking kids is wearing fucking ears. They're Therians. Kids wearing motherfucking mouse tails, skateboarding around the motherfucking school, bitch. And I'm just like, bitches, we on High School Musical or what? Because what the fuck is this? Okay, like, I thought we was going to be dancing on tables and High School Musical in and out. And no, babe. Like, it was punk and it was scene kids. And then it was the black kids. But then the black kids, it wasn't normally, oh, you popular because you got money or because you cute. It was you popular because you good at your art. So now, I got to be a fucking ballerina. So I'm in dance, right? I'm ballerinaing it up, but I'm fat, or at least I think I'm fat. So now I gotta be in a leotard, and I got coochie hair. Nobody else got coochie hair. So now my coochie hair out in my leotard. We gotta do these motherfucking dances, bitch. I sweat a lot. I sweat a lot. I'm pitta, okay? I sweat, and I'm in high school, and I didn't have no friends in high school. We just gonna say that. I had no friends, okay? Courtney, my friend from middle school, she went to the arts. But by that time, she already had her own friends. So yeah, we was cool, but we was only cool in the classes that we had together. Other than that, she had found people that more so matched her. Me, on the other hand, I ain't find no friends, okay? I found two girls, Shaylin, Allegra, and Nakaira, 3 girls. I found them. They was in a grade younger than me. So I'm in 11th grade. These girls are in 10th grade. And I'm sitting at lunch with them because I don't have no fucking friends, okay? Then mind you, when I stopped liking them, I just started eating fucking lunch in the bathroom. I didn't eat, but I would just skip lunch. Mind y'all, I had an eating disorder at the time. So I would go all day without eating because I thought I was a fat girly. And that was pretty much my life for 4 years. Like, eating alone, feeling alone. I did not have a boyfriend all throughout high school. I did not. I had a dude named Tyler that I was talking to my freshman year. He ended up passing away. And yeah, that was just that. Like, it was just, yeah. Like, I didn't have a boyfriend all throughout high school. And I was very much alone. Very much depressed. Very much coming home, going to sleep, only waking up to eat dinner, take a shower, go back to sleep, wake up, do it all over again. Yeah, that was my life, high school. So fast forward to after high school, I met my baby daddy. Actually, before him, I met this other dude. I fell in love. We broke up. He broke up with me. I still to this day don't know why, and I don't give a fuck. But I remember because he didn't tell me why, I judged myself so harshly. I'm like, wow, maybe it's because I'm fat. Maybe it's because I'm abusive. Maybe because it's because I don't got shit going on in my life. I don't got no job. Like, I'm just, and at the time, I had a job. I was working at my college, but then we were on summer break. So then I didn't have no job. So it was like, I was just always in a house. I didn't have shit going on. It was like, I just felt really, really down about myself for a very, very long time. And I stalked this man, and I went through a lot. Just going through my first breakup. That was my first breakup. That was the first time I had ever been in love, and I was 18 years old. 19 years old, I met Jovan. Okay, that is Kamaya Sky's daddy. If you did not know, I do have a daughter. She is 7 years old, and her name is Kamaya Sky Cooks. Okay, she has my last name. She's such a cutie pie. Anyway, I met Kamaya's dad. I was one day smoking with my friend Diamond, and her dude at the time was Miles, and Miles was best friends with Jovan, which is my baby daddy. I remember meeting him, and we didn't even talk. The first day that we met, he was driving. I remember my baby daddy always got nice ass cars. Like, he loved cars, right? So he had him a nice ass Buick, And I remember he had the subs woofing, okay, 28s in the back, or I don't know what they was, but he had the music going and we just riding around, and I didn't like him. I remember I didn't look at him. Like, I remember I was in the passenger side and it was in the back, but I just remember like looking over at him and being like, okay, like, not like, but it was just like, I don't really fuck with you like that, but I'm with my friend and she with her nigga, so I'm gonna be with you. Then the next day come, we end up seeing each other again, fucking with each other again. And yeah, he's just like, shit, let me take you out. I think we went out somewhere. We ended up smoking on the way home. And we pulled up to his house and I had answered the phone for my ex, which was Antonio. I answered the phone for him. When I answered the phone for him, we talked for a minute, and then Vaughn looked over at me and he smacked me with this part of his hand. So the knuckles and everything, he smacked me. And I remember I looked back at him. I put my phone in the motherfucking cup holder on the side. And I got up on this leg right here. I got up. I put my feet, my toes in the seat. I put my knee on the motherfucking little armrest in the middle. And then I got the beating the fuck out of him. Because why did you just put your hands on me? Whether I answered the phone for a nigga, no, you're not my nigga. I barely know you. This is our second date. And you gonna slap me? Bitch, I beat the fuck out of him. And he still talk about that to this day. He was like, I ain't no punk bitch, fine. Cause that's exactly what the fuck I said. So I'm beating his ass, right? And I'm like, I ain't no punk bitch. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, I don't fuck with you. Like, fuck you. Like, da-da-da. So I remember like getting out his car and I ain't had shit. I ain't had no shoes on. I think he had took my car keys, or he ain't taken my car keys, but I think I had left him in the car because I was trying to get away from him. And I remember just walking up and down fucking Silver Spring, and he like, man, get your dumb ass in the car. He driving after me and shit. And the rest was history. Yeah, we had an abusive ass relationship for 3 years. Well, I would say for 2 years, for 3 years, okay? We had an abusive relationship for 3 years. So for the first 2 years, it was both of us. Like, it was like me and him, we was both very toxic. And then I told him I wanted a baby. But by that time, I had never talked about it again. I had only mentioned it that one time. And then when we was about to break up, he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you a baby, all right? And he knocked me up. Yep. Like, right when I was running away from him, like right when I was like trying to leave him, I was staying at my mom's house. It was like, I was like trying to run away from him. Like, I didn't want him to know where I was at. He had crashed me in a car accident. Like, it had been so much traumatic. They say that whoever you date when you're 19 years old is going to fuck up your life the most. And babe, he didn't. But yeah, yeah. So it was the worst relationship I had ever been in. That shit was fucking treacherous. It was like every day I felt like I was in jail. Like, I couldn't go nowhere. Like, he had control over me because he was bigger than me. So he could take my house keys. You know, he could take my car keys. And I'd just be fucking stuck the fuck somewhere with him. And that was my life for a very long time. Like, kind of reminds me of like Kane and Chris. That was our relationship. But once I got pregnant, I ran away and I stayed at my mama's house, and I didn't like allow him to know where I was at. Like, even when I had my baby, I went to the delivery room by myself while I was having contractions. I was driving. And I remember I literally drove myself to the hospital and I didn't call nobody. I didn't want him to know that I was giving birth. But he ended up finding out because he used to stalk my house. And he like, damn, like, your car ain't been at the crib for like 2 days. Where the fuck is you at? Did you have my baby? And then he just ended up popping up at the hospital, and that was that. Because he found me. He wasn't going. Like, he loved Kamaya, like, but he loved me more, dead ass. Honestly, I don't even know if he loved me. Like, I don't know if Vaughn ever loved me, or if we was just upset. He was just, like, I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't remember if we used to tell each other we love each other. I don't think we did. I think we was just young and like kicking it. I don't remember. Maybe we did tell each other we love each other, but I don't know. I don't really remember. But I remember after I had my daughter, she was 10 months old, and I moved out of my mama's house because of how the living situation was. So I moved out of my mama's house, and I got my own apartment, and I let my baby daddy move in, and it was the worst thing I could ever do. He never paid rent, ever. He paid rent one time, and then he never paid rent again. He never paid his half. He just left me at the house, like, with Kamaya. And eventually it got to the point where I had to kick him out. And I moved all of my stuff to my mama's house, and I was like, yeah, we getting evicted out the crib. You're gonna have to pay rent all by yourself. You're gonna have to pay for that shit. And I lied. So then after he got all his shit out the house, I moved all my shit back in the house, and me and my daughter lived happily ever after, okay? 3 years later, I met Jonathan. Okay, I met Jonathan. And this is where my testimony kind of starts, because honestly, I started to really come into like loving myself like a year before I met him, maybe even 2 years before I met him, a year and a half or so before I had met him. I had become very, very spiritual. I had a spiritual awakening. I started to see spirits again. I started to remember my childhood. I started to remember the things that I started to remember God's voice. I started to hear it, and at first I thought it was just mine or shit that I was hearing, and then I actually started to see signs and synchronicities, and I really just came into accepting who I was as a woman, realizing the things that I had been through had made me who I was, and I stopped feeling so much guilt. I stopped feeling fat. I stopped feeling insecure. I stopped feeling like I didn't like myself. I stopped feeling like I was different from everybody else. You know, like I have really come into loving myself as a woman. Like I felt sexy. I had money. I had my own crib. Like I honestly, I had my own car. Like I had everything. I felt like the baddest bitch walking, okay? And then I met Jonathan. I don't know how we met. I think we just was young kids, like probably on social media, knew of each other, shit like that. So a couple times when he was in jail, we had talked to each other, and you know, it was kind of like, I remember one time he was like, hey, you know, like you should be my, you know, like you should be my girlfriend out on the outside, like just write me, send me your address, like I'll send you letters and shit like that. And I remember being like, nigga, you're in jail. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, but I'm not gonna send you my address. I remember sending him a fake address, and he told me that he wrote me and shit, and I never wrote him back and all kind of shit like that. So he had posted a picture and was like, I'm home from prison. And mind you, Jonathan had been in and out of jail since he was 15 years old. He had also did like a Job Corps or something like that his mom had sent him to for like healing and shit, to, like a while back, like when he was in high school. So like I said, Jonathan had been in and out of jail since we were 15 years old. And I had known this because he was pretty popular in our city. I just know him. I didn't know him for his music at the time because I felt like he was like a white boy, kind of. Like his style was very like mosh pit. But when he came home, he was giving ghetto. Like I don't know, he changed. But when he was younger, he was rapping with the white boys, and you know, he was rapping about skateboarding and doing like, and smoking, and like he was like a Wiz Khalifa. He wasn't a gangster, you know, he was just a nigga who smoked weed and did drugs. Jonathan has done drugs since I've known him. He, as a young kid, was drinking lean, 15, 16 years old. Drinking lean, drinking whole fifths of liquor, and partying and taking pills. Again, I didn't know him at this time. I just kind of knew of him, but I didn't know him. So when I met him, like for real in person, I remember he had just got out of prison. He had been there for like maybe like 2 years or so. And he had came home, posted a picture, and I'm like, welcome home, handsome. And I don't remember how we ended up talking. I think it was one night, it was late night, and I think he had posted something, like he was driving, he was out here, he was doing something, or maybe I posted something. One of us posted something, and either I said something to him or he had said something to me. But no, I baked some cookies. And I had posted it on Instagram, like, I'm baking cookies, I'm making edibles or something like that. He was like, dang, you baking cookies? Like, I want to come get some. And I'm like, come on. Mind you, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the weekend, so Kamaya was gone. He came over and we didn't do nothing. Like, he literally just came over. And at the time, he didn't have his own car. He was riding with some other niggas in the back seat. So you already know what it was given at the time. Like, you know. So he was the little nigga, you know, coming out of prison and shit like that. He was the little nigga. So he came home and we pretty much just kicked it that night. His friends was still outside. That's how you know he wasn't even there for long. He came over. He didn't even eat no cookies. But we just talked for a little while. We sat on my bed, you know, we had a conversation. And I remember him telling me, like, the first thing I thought when I came in your crib was like, damn, you got furniture. Like, you got a whole house. Like, your kitchen is a kitchen, your crib is a crib. You got a pet. Like, girl, you is a mother. Like, you was a mother. And he said that's what he thought about me. It wasn't, oh, you look beautiful, I like you. He was like, no, it was your house. Your house was a home. So yeah, we start kicking it. We start being in a relationship, and I feel like I kind of forced him or coerced him into everything. Like, it was like, okay, after a couple months, I'm like, okay, so what are we? And then after a month of us being in a relationship, I'm like, okay, so do you want to move in with me? Like, you know, because that was the time of COVID. We met during COVID. Like, he literally got out February. COVID happened in March. So he had only been out for a month getting to enjoy the world. And then you gotta think about it. I just got home from prison after 2 years and the world is shut down. I can't go nowhere. We can't do shit. We gotta wear masks. Like, he was wearing clothes from high school when he got out, and now he's 25 years old. So it was a lot of things that happened where it was just like, damn, like, I'm in a whole new world. Phones are different. Social media is different. Music is different. My friends betrayed me while I was in prison. I don't know who I can trust out here. Like, he has so much going on. And when he first came home, he was on parole. So he wasn't even smoking weed. And I remember I felt like, again, like I had forced him to smoke because I had never dated nobody in prison. My dad never went to jail. Like, my peoples never went to, like, I didn't know about this shit. So I didn't know that he was on parole. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. I didn't know nothing. So when he came home and, you know, like, he had came over one night and I had a blunt rolled for us. I had some liquor. I had him some house shoes, some deodorant, a toothbrush. This before I asked him to move in. I had him plenty of shit, and I'm just like, you know, from when you come over my house, like, I want you to feel good. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to have a good time. And I remember him not drinking the liquor and not smoking the weed. And I'm just like, well, shit, I'm gonna spark this blunt. Like, it's been 2 days. Like, you ain't smoked the blunt, you ain't took a shot. Like, I'm gonna drink this liquor and I'm gonna motherfucking smoke this weed. So at that point, it was like, okay, he really sober. Like, and I'm the alcoholic. I'm the one drinking. It wasn't like I was drinking a lot, but at the time, it's like I'm you know, like, I'm in my 20s. Like, that's how we kicked it. You and your nigga, y'all listen to music, we smoking a blunt, watching a movie and sipping a little something. That was a good night for us. But over time, I just started to realize, like, this nigga do pills. Like, so that's why he don't want to drink with me. Like, we was getting high. Eventually, he did start smoking weed. And it was like, he would get high to the point where, like, he nodding off and, like, and I'm like, this weed not that strong, bro. Like, I'm right here with you. Like, I don't know how you're this high. Like, you're not that high. Like, there is no fucking way. And I'm just looking at him like, we used to get into it because I'm like, you falling asleep? Like, you don't want to spend time with me? Like, what's up? Like, you don't love me? Like, you know? So March came and he was like, he came to me. He was like, Caprice, I remember it like it was yesterday. He came to me. I was at the dresser. I had my hand on the dresser. He came to me. He put his, like, he leaned on the dresser. He was like, Caprice, I think I want to get a pack. Of course, this weed, ganjas, the smoke. Everybody smoke it. It's cool. I smoke it. I'm like, okay, cool. He like, yeah, I think I want to get a pack. This dude gonna front me or whatever, and then I'm gonna have to pay it back. And I was like, nah, I'm finna get on. I'm like, okay. He like, yeah, I got, I'm basically finna get to go passing out. I'm finna go give people this shit and I'm finna get in my number or whatever. Can I use your car? I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, like, that's okay or whatever. But I told him, like, I wasn't okay with it. Like, I'm like, I don't think you should sell drugs or whatever. So eventually, I don't even know when, my memory is kind of fuzzy, down the line, he got to selling all kind of shit. And I'm like, you told me you would never touch boy. Like, you told me you would never sell boy. So then this dude Chuck, I don't know his real name, but I know that's his nickname or whatever. So this dude had got out of prison too, that Jonathan knew. And I could tell that he was trying to little bro my nigga. Like, I could tell that he was trying to like make my nigga ahead. So basically he pulled up one day and he like, look, I got this MDMA. Like, I got this pure ass shit. And now that I'm looking back, I'm pretty sure it was coke. I'm pretty sure, because Jonathan did start to have an addiction to coke. So what happened was, this dude, he pulled up and he like, I got this shit, bro. I want you to try it. Tell me what's up. So he gave Jonathan a bump. Jonathan came in the house and he was like, man, I want you to try it. His eyes was big as fuck. And I'm like, I just started praying. I'm like, he was like, man, I'm finna call him back so that you can get some. And in my mind, I knew I didn't want to do it. Like, I knew I did not want to do that shit. Because it was like, this is real drugs. You got me fucked up. I'm not finna sniff nothing up my fucking nose, bro. Like, you're weird. And I remember looking at him. He was in the kitchen hype, like, off the shit. I'm looking at him. And he excited and he happy. And he, you know, like, I hadn't really seen him happy in a while. Because he was just hustling. He was gone all the time. Wasn't brushing his teeth, washing his face, getting in the shower. I was becoming like unattracted to him, like, as his addiction was spiraling, because I didn't know he was in addiction. It was just, to me, shit that he was doing was like disgusting and like a turn off. But I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know how to put a name to it. I just felt like he was ugly. But it wasn't about his face. It was his energy. It was I kept telling him, like, he had the world on him. Basically, like, you going out and you selling drugs to people, like, you're like them. Like, you in that energy, y'all interacting, y'all having friends, like, y'all friends. You going in these people's houses. Like, he locked me out his Instagram, like, so I couldn't see his story, and he would post to his close friends. He would be having, like, freak parties, and it would be like, he would find a girl, serve her a little bit, find a dude, serve him a little bit, and then a dude to ask him, like, do you know any girls or whatever? And he had put the play together. Like, he was a middleman for a lot of shit. And that was pretty much his come up for a long time. Like, before he got into really selling boy and girl and stuff like that, he was like middleman and shit, and like getting fronts from people. So it got to the point where he didn't need fronts. You know, it got to the point where, like, he was getting his money up and he was really becoming who he wanted to be. And I was seeing him just spiral. Our relationship was getting more and more treacherous, and I remember the first miscarriage happened. Like, the day I found out I was pregnant, it was so good. But I remember he didn't believe me, because I had lied about being pregnant previously. I'm like, I'm pregnant, don't leave me, don't break up with me. And then we found out I wasn't pregnant. And then 2 months later, I really was pregnant, and he didn't believe me. And then the next day, I think that night, he ended up telling a girl that he was cheating on me with, like, you know, Caprice having a baby, I gotta break up with you. I don't know if he said that. Maybe he didn't, but yeah. So the next day I woke up and it was a girl writing me like, yeah, Jonathan been eating my ass and he is my boyfriend and he be telling me that he loved me and we together, basically. And literally, mind you, I woke up to this text messages. So I'm waking up out of my sleep. I'm like, I'm reading it. Kamaya in the bed, he in the bed, and I wake up and I just get to punching him all in his shit. I threw Kamaya down. She seen it, she watched it, and that was one of the moments that I was never proud about, because it was Kamaya's dowel, and I know she was probably thinking like, what the fuck, why did you throw my dowel, like, what's happening right now, you know? And I kicked him out, and yeah, I was pregnant. So now I'm pregnant and I'm getting cheated on, and we're going through basically, like, every day I'm sad. Every day I'm like, y'all know what happens when your man cheat on you and you trying to get back. It's like we constantly having talks every single day. Constantly fighting every single day. We putting our hands on each other every single day. It was so fucking exhausting. It was so fucking exhausting. Oh my god, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. That shit was so fucking exhausting. Like, just being in a relationship and like not liking the person that you're with. And we were going through money problems, but I'm like, you hustling every fucking day, but you not helping me. Mind you, he thinking shit about me, and he said so. He thinking, damn bitch, you always in the fucking bed. Like, you sad as fuck, you in the bed all the fucking time. All you want to do is smoke and be in the bed. But I was depressed and I couldn't eat. I lost 89 pounds while I was pregnant with Zion. And I lost him because I was depressed and I was sad and we were fighting. And I think that Zion knew that that wouldn't have been a good situation to bring him into. Like, I remember when we lost a rhythm and I remember like 2 days after she passed away and me and him was having a conversation and I'm just like, rhythm would have been here. Like, rhythm would have been here this month. So like, you still hustling and you're getting worse. Like, what would our life have looked like if our babies was here? And he left. He ended up leaving after I said that. And then like, I remember we got into a fight a couple months later and he just like, I remember you said that to me and da da da. So it was like, I could tell that like with each miscarriage, his drug addiction was just getting worse. And I think he was blaming himself a lot because he knew that I had already had Kamaya, so he knew that I could have a child. He knew that I could have kids. And he was just like, well, why you can't have my baby? So I think we were both blaming each other. He was blaming me and I was blaming him. But it was both of us, you know? And that's just the reality of it. So many other things have happened in our relationship, but I have touched a lot on our relationship just like in other videos and previous videos. And to be honest, it's just, my man was in addiction, basically. It don't matter what he did to me. It does matter what I did to him because I'm still alive. Like, I can still fix my behavior. I still want to fix my behavior. It's still a priority to me to fix my behavior, especially being in a new relationship. I don't want to hurt my boyfriend as I have hurt, Jonathan. So I hope this wasn't super hard to watch because I know sometimes I'll turn a video off for that little lip gloss line. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, it was just like watching him really like suffer through that and just like know that for a majority of Jonathan's life he was so depressed. And it's like realizing that like I'm no longer in that relationship, realizing that like after Jonathan passed, my life was so fucking horrible. I got evicted from the best house I've lived in. And after I got evicted, I ended up moving in with my mom. After I moved in with my mom, I ended up moving on Burleigh with roaches and mice. Roaches and I've never seen a roach in my life. I have never seen a fucking roach in my life until I moved into that apartment. I had never seen one before, not even on TV. Like, I didn't know what a roach looked like. I did not know. But because I'm in Milwaukee, it was like, as soon as I walked in the apartment to see what it looked like, I saw one. Like, when I was going through the walkthrough, I saw one in the tub and I saw one in the dining room. And I knew, but I was still happy and blessed because I was living by myself. Like, I remember, like, I can't believe that I lived over there, bro. Like, I was having company over there. People was at my crib and people, like, I really had roaches and mice. Me and my daughter Like, I subjected her to such bad conditions, and like, I'm not ashamed, but like, and this is no offense to anybody who's had to deal with that or who's gone through that, but for me, not growing up like that and having to put my daughter through that, like, if it was just me, okay, but my daughter was embarrassed of our house. And I remember, like, she went to my mom's house after my mom and them had helped us move in. She went over there and they had told her, like, y'all got roaches. And she was embarrassed because she like, Auntie said we got roaches. And I'm just like, Auntie don't even know what she's talking about. Like, we don't have roaches. Like, it, you know? It's just some of the shit we had to deal with in that house. It was like, it made me so sad for my people. It made me so sad for Black young people because that's how we live. Like, you know, like, I living in that neighborhood, like, I lived on 44th and Burleigh, and like, living in that hood, I felt so low. Like, I felt like I went from this to this, and I was dating a man who made me feel less than. I was dating a man who wasn't given to me, and his mother had passed away, so it was like, I was like trying to be understanding. I felt like, and he had other people. Huh? Can I have one of these caramel things? Yeah, I'll put it in the oven in a minute. You said you could put it in the oven in a minute? Or you can go ahead and put it in the oven. Okay. But yeah, it was just like, living in a neighborhood made me realize, I guess, like, how much poverty it is in my city, and like the fact that like everybody was just so okay with like how life was. Everybody was so just used to like, I felt so insecure every day, bro. Like, how did I end up here? Like, I felt so out of place. But that was reality. Like, that was my saving grace. Like, people could look at me and judge the fact that I was in the hood, you know, but like, I didn't want to live with my mom. Like, I don't care. I did not want to live with my mom. I wanted to live by myself. And I did it. Like, I made a home for me and my daughter. Like, I made that house a home. Like, our house looked good as fuck in the inside. It didn't matter that we didn't have no money. It didn't matter that shit was bad. Like, I made a way for us. Like, being evicted was like the worst thing that could have happened to me. Like, I never saw that for myself. Like, you hear of people having evictions and you hear people having roaches, and like, you laugh at it, or it's like a damn, until that shit happened to you. I think I felt like such a failure. I felt like everything that I had just worked so fucking hard for. Now I'm in a crib with fucking mice and roaches, and I'm living in this hood, and everything stank. Everything smelled like poor. I felt so defeated. I felt so ugly. I felt so gross, nasty. Like, But I was still grinding. I was still getting up and I was going to work. I was bartending at the time. Like, I was still making a way. Like, I was still making a way for myself. I was getting up and I was catching a bus. I was on a bus at down there midnight. Midnight. Some night, just trying to make a way and get home from the bar. I just felt like I dealt with so much shit. Like, I didn't through the midst of all of that, like getting evicted and all that shit, like my mother's and my relationship grew so much like tighter to one another. But I felt myself growing farther away from my daughter, you know, because when I'm stressed, I'm angry. And that guilt of just like not being able to be super present for your kid, like I'm never, you know, like me and Kamaya, y'all see the videos, like we bake together, we kick it, like we play and we have fun. But like the reality is sometimes I'm not there. Like sometimes I'm not always in the mood. Like I feel like because I'm always stressed about like finances, and if I'm gonna be evicted, like I stress about that so much. I'm so scared. Like I'm so scared of not being able to pay my bills. Like I want to pay that shit 3 months in advance because I'm just so scared. Like I'm scared every day. Like every day I come home and think it's gonna be a note on my door. Even though I'm able to pay my rent, it's like I'm scared and I'm traumatized as fuck. I'm scared. Like it's like now I'm in a walking testimony. Like I'm not there no more. And sometimes I just look at my new house and I'm just like, damn, like I'm really not in an abusive relationship. I'm not a bad mom. Like, but sometimes I'm so hard on myself. And I don't realize that this is a walking testimony. Like, I don't have it all together, y'all. I don't. You know, like I'm dealing with insecurities. Like my hair, I'm so insecure about it because of my mental health. I pick at my hair and I pull my hair out. So in a lot of spots, I just don't have hair. And like, I feel like my confidence has been affected by all of this shit that I went through. It's like residual. You know, it's like a residual effect of just sadness, perpetual sadness. And I keep having it. And it's like I just want to get rid of it. Like it's like I have so many things to be thankful for. Like I am in a walking testimony. Like the fact that I'm here, the fact that I'm posting this video, like all of that is a walking testimony. I have been through so much. And there are far more sad stories than mine. There are people who have been through worse. And I send y'all all my love, like all my gratitude, like all just anything that you need that I have. Like if I could give it to you, I would. Because I know for a fact that like the shit that I'm complaining about ain't shit. But at the same time, it was everything to me. It was everything to me. And now realizing like my man was in active addiction. Like I've been in active addiction to weed for I don't know how long. So it's like I wish that I would have just showed him more compassion. Like sometimes it'd be like, damn, like what if he never would have met me? You know, because he wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't doing that kind of stuff before he met me. I mean, he was, but I gave him a car. You know, I gave him a crib. Like I gave him, you know, he would have still been living with his mom. So maybe I don't know. Like I want to say things would have been better. But while he was with me, that was the longest that he hasn't been in prison. You know, I gave him something to look forward to. I gave him kids. But nothing was going to change that man. Nothing was going to make him stop selling drugs. Like, he was selling drugs when he was 15. That ain't had shit to do with me. He started taking fucking fentanyl perks. And when we talked about it, he like, shit, I know that they fentanyl perks, but I still took them. I still wanted them. No, but I see how strong Jonathan was. Jonathan was so fucking strong, like, because he was never super addicted to anything. Like, he would have binges where for a whole month or for a whole week he on some shit, but then he'd be like, all right, I'm good. And then he wouldn't need it for another couple months. Or so I thought. It's like sometimes I just don't know shit. Sometimes I just don't know anything. So like I feel like I don't be embracing the fact that I'm in a testimony. Like right now I still stress so much about my bills because I'm out of fear. Not even out of lack, out of fear. You know, I spend so much time scared that Kamaya gonna die, scared that I'm gonna die, scared that I can't have kids, scared that my nigga gonna end up changing. Like I be thinking like, cause I have a boyfriend, and sometimes I think that like in a couple years, are you gonna beat my ass, bro? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like people just change. Like, I feel like I've changed. Like, I feel like I became such an angry person. But, like, I don't be giving myself props for how kind I am. Like, how much of a good friend I am. How much of a good mother I am. Like, I only be feeling guilty about the bad shit that I do or about the bad person that I am. But I never just praise myself. I never just be like, damn, your hair long. Even if you do got fucking short spots, this shit long. You know, I never just be like, even if the bill ain't all the way paid, at least your credit score went up 3 points. You know, you paid it a little bit. Maybe the debt ain't all the way gone, but you paid some. Like, goddamn, give yourself a break. I never do that, y'all. I never do that. And I feel like a part of why my business isn't flourishing as much as I would want it to is because I don't believe in myself. Like, I believe in myself. Like, I be seeing the vision. Like, God be showing me certain shit, and I be like, I know that can happen. But it be like, I don't be believing in myself enough. I have the faith in the Lord, but it's like I can't keep relying so much on the Lord that I'm not having faith in myself as well. I just want to be better. And like, I just want to live in my testimony. I want to embrace my testimony. My testimony don't have to be when I'm in a mansion. My testimony don't have to be when I have the amount of kids I want. My testimony don't have to be marriage. Like, this right here is a testimony. And if you're going through something or you've gotten through something, pat yourself on the back because you're in your testimony as well. A lot of times we only think about the bad shit, but we're not realizing all the trials and the things that we have gotten over, the hurdles that we have, you know, overcome. So I could look at my life and I could still, you know, like, I'm a human, so I do still get stressed out. I do still feel insecure. I do still get sad. You know, like, these are normal emotions. These are normal feelings. But it's like, I want to start to live in the fact that I'm in a testimony. The fact that, like, my life is grand. I don't care if I'm depressed sometimes. I don't care if I'm sad sometimes. I don't care if I don't believe in myself this day or if I'm down on myself that day. Like, for the most part, I love me. I love me. I think I'm cool as shit. I think I'm funny as shit. I think I'm creative as fuck. Anything I put my hands on is fire. Whether it's massages, whether it's being an esthetician, whether it's being a holistic healer, whether it's my tarot readings, whether it's my waist beads, all my shit go crazy. Anything I do goes crazy. Whether it's doing hair, doing nails, I could figure some shit out. I'm creative as fuck. I'm artistic as fuck. I'm everything. I'm her. I'm her. I'm that. I embody that goddess energy. Like, I'm a Arisha. Like, they gonna speak about me. When I'm gone, my energy will forever be used, like, by women who have experienced what I've experienced. Okay? Goddess of miscarriages and relationships. Goddess of toxicity. I'll help you get up out of that. Okay? I'm that spirit. Call on me. That's me. I am a helper. I am a healer. I am a goddess. I don't care. Okay? I love God and God loves me the way that I love God. They could never make me hate. They could never make me feel like spirituality is bad. I don't give a fuck. Okay? They could never make me feel demonic. They could never make me feel like I'm doing something wrong because I love God. I love God. The way that I love God, can't nobody make me feel like what I'm doing is wrong. But in the past, I've allowed that. I think sometimes I still feel that way. Like, is what I'm doing wrong? Is that why I'm not famous? Is that why I'm not making a lot of money? No, it's because of me and me not believing in me. But I'm done with that. I'm walking in my testimony. I'm living in my testimony, and I'm going to enjoy it. Because one day I'm going to go through another trial. And then I'm going to have another testimony. And that's just going to be life, and I'm going to be okay. And I want y'all to know that you guys are okay too. If y'all sat here and y'all watched this whole hour-long video, I thank you and I appreciate you. And like, honestly, real shit, like, y'all just spent y'all energy on me. Y'all just spent y'all time on me. Y'all just used y'all listening ears on me, and I'm appreciative and I'm grateful for that. I send all y'all love, light, healing, but I also send y'all like acceptance for whatever your shadow side is, for whatever your cravings are, for whatever your addictions are. I pray that you find solace in whatever that shit is. Period. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Share it to all your other social medias. And I am out of here, guys.